Absolutely no chance.
I've just got one thing to say, Ayaz. India should drop Jasprit Bumrah. I mean, he's the obvious weakness. India have lost both times he's played, and the only time they won was when he wasn't playing. But jokes aside, what a brilliant finish to an enthralling test match. Now, England go 2-1 up in the series, 2 tests left to go. And we'll talk more about the match. But first of all, I'd like to bring to notice that in this test match, in fact, India did force England to change their preference for always chasing in baseball. They ended up batting first, which means they didn't bat in the fourth innings, and maybe that could have been an advantage. But first of all, let's do talk about that heroic effort from Siraj, Bumrah, and Jadeja.
It's been one of those extraordinary test matches. Now, remember, there have been closer matches. There have been tighter finishes. There have been 2 tight test matches, as we know, and in which India has featured in one. There have been quite a few number, not many, but quite a few number of matches won by a single run, 1 run, 3 runs, 10 runs, whatever. So a 22-run margin is not that minuscule, you might argue. Top of mind, I can also remember, not in terms of runs, but the Kolkata match 2001, India versus Australia, which Dravid and Lakshman turned it around on its head. India won that match, and the trajectory of Indian cricket has changed since then. So there have been closer finishes, but this match is in a sense out of that kind of cluster. It engaged you from ball one till the last delivery was bowled, so to speak, because the manner in which India fought hard on the last day just showed that they fought it like they wanted to win. The ambition, I thought, was most admirable. At the end of the day, you've lost, which is a heartbreak. But I thought that right through, and from the first test match, as you mentioned, the 2 test matches that India have lost, both India could have won, and then we won the Edgbaston match. So it's been a very tight fought series. And then the ironies of this game and of life. Jasprit Bumrah gets a 5-wicket haul at Headingley, sets up the match for India to win. India lose that match. Jasprit Bumrah gets a 5-wicket haul at Lords, sets up a match for India to win again, and India lose again. So I think that there are obviously lessons to be drawn from this match, which we'll talk about. But generally, I think the series is really it's gone ablaze. I think that we're going to see more exciting action at Old Trafford and at the Oval. I would imagine, given the kind of form that the players have shown and the aptitude and attitude from both teams. It's been fantastic.
Yeah, so you spoke about Bumrah. Let's also talk about what I think is the second best bowler in the series, which is Ben Stokes, and also the comeback of Jofra Archer. Now, Archer came back after 4.5 years in the wild. Now, he looked match ready and he got Jaiswal cheaply in both innings, and thereon picked up some more crucial wickets. But Ben Stokes was the player of the match because what a mammoth effort by this man who we know he has history of injuries and he's lost a lot of weight just to focus on his bowling. He's not batting as well as he used to, but he is bowling a lot. And I think I was doing a bit of lip reading when he had some sort of a spat with Nitish Kumar Reddy, and I thought I heard him say that I am not tired, I am not tired. He bowled 20 overs in the fourth innings. I don't think he's ever done that before. So what an incredible achievement by Ben Stokes and the comeback of Archer.
Absolutely. I think let's talk about, I'll briefly touch on Archer. I thought that he was used very cleverly and sharp. He showed sharp pace in both innings, but more so in the second innings when the wickets were needed. And that extraordinary catch that he took, return catch, which kind of put England on top, because you get 2 wickets like that very early in the day, then the match kind of turns around. So I thought he was handled extremely well. He looked very sharp. He was clocking 90 miles per hour quite regularly, quite frequently. And he showed his fitness in that catch, in the acrobatic catch that he took. So he's going to be a threat as the series goes on. But clearly, as you mentioned, Anirudh, the man who loomed over this match large, when you look back, it was Ben Stokes. He bowled well in the first innings. He bowled superbly in the second. That long spell that he had on the last day, 19, 20 overs, and made significant contributions in a match that really turned out to be, barring the hundreds for Rahul and for Joe Root, actually there were not many other significant contributions. And these were vital knocks. Then that run out of Rishabh Pant in the first innings which kind of, a lot of people in hindsight now, one can say, a lot of people, experts reckon that that was the turning point of the match. But more than everything else, I think the sense of purpose and optimism, he never gave up, and he just kind of buoyed his team, his players, and said, we can do it, we can do it, we can do it. Especially when, Jadeja kind of took India inching along towards what was a stiff target when Bumrah and then later Siraj came. And that's when you need to keep your nerve, you need to keep your wits about you. Even getting Bashir to come in and bowl at that stage was a bit of a gamble because Jadeja could have taken him to the cleaners. But he held his nerve, he gave Bashir the ball, and Bashir got that final breakthrough which won them the match. So I think Ben Stokes has been, when the series started, he was under a little scrutiny, and the first two test matches with not making enough runs, it seemed that his best days were behind him. But now, I think he's going to be a more serious threat in all aspects as batsman, bowler, and obviously as captain in the remaining two matches.
Yeah. So, lastly, coming back to India now, we've heard a lot of criticism of Gambhir's, selection style in the sense that loading the team with all rounders. You had virtually three in this match, and they did get some crucial breakthroughs, especially Reddy and Washington Sundar. But do you think it could be argued that if, say, India had an Arshdeep or a Kuldeep, especially, that England would not have ended up at 193 in the third innings? But you can argue it both ways, but do you think this is a defensive approach, and do you think India will continue with this going into the last two matches?
It's a very vexing situation for India. I mean, they've got problems of, getting the composition right in batting also. I mean, now Karun Nair, he's had three test matches. He's looked sound. He's looked very good, but he's not looked good enough to go beyond 25-30. And that's going to be one major discussion in the dressing room. What do you do? But what are the options now? Do you go back to Sai Sudarshan or you go to Eastwaran? Especially when, in a sense, you don't want to kind of shake up a team which has otherwise been performing extremely well. And then there are the two bowlers, Kuldeep Yadav, Arshdeep Singh, neither of them being chosen in the matches so far. Now, with Washington Sundar picking up a 4-wicket haul, and in a sense, along with Bumrah bringing India to the doorsteps of victory, so to speak. What do you do? Do you change him now? Do you get Kuldeep in? Jadeja has not been getting wickets, but Jadeja, you can't even think of sidelining him or keeping him aside because look at the kind of hand he's played as a batsman. And while he's not picked up wickets, he's really looked very sharp as a bowler. So I think there's a lot of thinking and debating and discussing which will go on about what the playing 11 should be at Old Trafford first up, and then of course Oval we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, so as I said earlier, two more tests left to go. The next one is on the 23rd of July, and we'll come back to you before that. So that's it for this episode of Sports Zone. We'll see you next time.
Thank you. Thanks, Anirudh. We'll catch up soon.